The LifeWave X2O Water Machine costs nearly $6,000. So if you're considering buying one, I think you deserve to know exactly what you're getting before you spend that kind of money. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 15 things I think you should know before purchasing the LifeWave X2O Water Machine. Now, we're going to talk about what this machine actually does, how it's different from an ordinary water filter or hydrogen water machine, how to use it, what kind of water you can put into it, how much water it produces, what the ongoing costs are, and of course, the big question, is the LifeWave X2O water machine actually worth $5,995? So I'm also going to share my personal experience using the machine. And I want to say something right at the beginning. If you already have a LifeWave brand partner or sponsor that you're working with, please work with that person. They should be your resource for questions and support. But if you discover X2O on, say, YouTube or somewhere else online, and you don't currently have a LifeWave sponsor, stay with me until the end because I'll explain how you can reach out to me directly. I am happy to answer your questions before you purchase and support you after your machine arrives. So, okay, let's get into the 15 things I think every potential X2O buyer should know. Number one, what exactly is the X2O water machine? Well, the X2O is a countertop water technology system created by LifeWave. But I think one of the first things people need to understand is that this is not being marketed simply as an expensive water filter. The system combines three main technologies. Okay, one, you have your dual stage filtration. Secondly, you have hydrogen enrichment. And then you have LifeWave's patented light-infusion technology. According to LifeWave, selected wavelengths of light are applied to the water during the processing cycle. So when someone asks me, Gretchen, is this just a water filter? My answer is no. Filtration is only one component of the system, but it's not the primary reason someone would spend nearly $6,000 on this machine. You are purchasing a system specifically designed to process water using LifeWave's light-infusion technology while also filtering the water and enriching it with molecular hydrogen. That's an important distinction. Number two, how is X2O different from a regular water filter? This is probably one of the most important questions to ask. There are many excellent water filters available at a fraction of the cost of X2O. So if your only goal is to filter your drinking water, I would personally look at filtration systems and compare your other options. The reason someone would consider X2O is because they specifically want the combination of filtration, hydrogen enrichment, and LifeWave's patented light infusion technology. The primary filtration stage is designed to reduce a broad range of impurities that may be found in municipal tap water. But I also want to be very transparent here. At the time I'm recording this video, LifeWave states on its website that the primary filter technology is undergoing additional accredited laboratory testing, state registrations, and full NSF certification. So I would encourage you to look at the current information directly from LifeWave rather than relying on claims that you may see elsewhere online. That information can change as testing and certifications are completed. I believe that when you're considering a major purchase, you deserve accurate information. Number three, what does light infused water actually mean? Well, this is a part of X2O that creates the most curiosity. LifeWave says that the system treats water with selected wavelengths of light during approximately a 45-minute processing cycle. The wavelengths currently identified by LifeWave are 550, 630, and 710 nanometers. LifeWave describes the technology as a way to make the electromagnetic activity from these selected wavelengths available through the water you drink. Now, I have made many other videos where I go deeper into this technology and the science behind X2O. So I'm not going to turn this buyer's guide into more of a science lesson. But for this video, the important thing to understand is that the light infusion process is what makes the X2O fundamentally different from a conventional filtration system. It is also the innovation that you're primarily paying for. That is the light infusion. Okay, number 4, is X2O just hydrogen water? No. Molecular hydrogen is part of the X2O system, but it isn't the entire system. During processing, the water also goes through hydrogen enrichment. LifeWave states that dissolved molecular hydrogen may provide antioxidant support and may help reduce oxidative stress. There's a growing body of research around hydrogen-rich water generally, although LifeWave itself notes that more research is needed to fully understand the extent of the potential benefits. I actually appreciate that qualification. I don't believe we need to exaggerate what we know. The X2O combines hydrogen enrichment with filtration and LifeWave's light infusion technology. So when you're comparing X2O with a hydrogen water machine, make sure you're comparing apples to apples. If all you want is hydrogen enriched water, there are other products you can investigate. X2O is designed to offer something different. Number 5, what kind of water can you put into the machine? This is another question I get all the time. And according to LifeWave, you can use tap water, spring water, filtered water, distilled water, or deuterium depleted water. LifeWave currently advises not to use alkaline or carbonated water and not to add more minerals to the reservoir. Personally, I use distilled water in my machine. That is simply my personal preference. You do not have to use distilled water. The important thing is that you follow the manufacturer's current instructions, because using non-approved water types or filters may affect your warranty. Number 6, how easy is it to use? Well, honestly, this is one of the things I like about it. You just fill the reservoir on the side of the machine, you power the machine on, you select your treatment cycle on a touch screen, and the machine does the processing. The reservoir can hold up to 2 liters of water. After approximately 45 minutes, the machine can produce 2 15-ounce glasses of treated water. And after those 2 glasses are dispensed, the machine begins processing the next batch. So this is something you can very easily incorporate into your routine. In our home, it simply sits on the counter, ready to use every morning. It already went through the 45-minute treatment process the previous day, and it only takes approximately 35 seconds to dispense my 15-ounce glass of X2O water. Super easy and convenient. Number 7, how much X2O water are you supposed to drink? Well, LifeWave's current recommendation is 1 15-ounce or approximately 450 milliliter glass per day. And this is important. X2O water is not intended to replace all of the regular water you drink throughout the day. It supplements your normal daily water intake. LifeWave currently recommends drinking your X2O water in the morning when you wake up, preferably on an empty stomach. They also recommend consuming it at room temperature and without ice. And once it's dispensed, LifeWave recommends drinking it relatively soon rather than storing it for a longer period of time. Personally, morning is when I drink mine. It's simply become part of my routine. Number 8, what kind of container should you use? This may seem like a small detail, but it's an important one. LifeWave recommends dispensing X2O water into glass rather than plastic. So I use a clear drinking glass. I mentioned this because I don't want someone to spend thousands of dollars on a machine and then wonder why nobody explains some of these practical details. The machine is designed to fit into your daily routine, but there are some specific usage recommendations that you'll want to follow. Number 9, does the water taste different? Taste is obviously subjective. LifeWave describes the machine as producing smoother, more refreshing tasting water. I personally really enjoy drinking it, but I would never suggest spending nearly $6,000 simply because you're looking for better tasting water. Again, that's not really the value proposition here. The reason to investigate X2O is the technology behind the water and the potential role you believe that technology could play in your personal wellness routine. Number 10, what has my personal experience been? Now, let's talk about why I personally continue to be so interested in this technology. First, I need to make something very clear. What I'm about to share is my personal experience. It is not a promise of what you will experience. People are different. And LifeWave products are intended for general wellness, not to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any medical condition or medical disease. With that said, I personally love how I feel when I incorporate X2O water into my routine. One of the biggest things I personally noticed is my energy. And when I say energy, I don't mean jittery feeling that you might get from caffeine. For me personally, it feels like abundant, youthful energy. I've also personally noticed a difference in my mental clarity. I feel like I'm getting more accomplished and I feel sharper as I'm working through my day. Even my typing has become faster and more accurate. I've also noticed that physical activity feels easier to me. Again, this is my experience. I'm not suggesting that everyone will experience the same thing, but I'm sharing it because whenever someone asks me, Gretchen, do you actually use this water machine? The answer is absolutely yes. I own it, I use it, and I genuinely enjoy having it as part of my wellness routine. And after making well over 100 videos about X2O and spending a tremendous amount of time learning about this technology, I'm obviously very, very fascinated by it. But fascination alone isn't enough reason for you to necessarily spend $6,000 on this machine, which brings us to the next question. Number 11, how much does X2O really cost? At the time I'm recording this video, the public retail price listed by LifeWave in the United States is $5,995. Yes, this is a significant investment. And I don't think you should pretend otherwise. This is not an impulse purchase for most people. I would encourage you to look at the price, understand exactly what you're purchasing, research the technology, consider your personal financial situation, and make the decision that's right for you. LifeWave also currently offers access to PayPal buy now, pay later financing options at checkout for eligible purchasers. Those financing arrangements are handled by PayPal, not LifeWave, and approval is not guaranteed because pricing, promotions, and financing programs can change. Always verify the current options available when you're ready to purchase. And please don't put yourself under financial stress to buy a wellness product. I mean that sincerely. Number 12, what are the ongoing costs? The machine does have replaceable filters, and LifeWave currently recommends replacing both filters approximately every 6 months or when the machine indicates that replacement is needed, depending on usage and water quality. At the time I'm recording this video, the combined primary and secondary filter bundle has different pricing depending upon your customer status with LifeWave. Because those prices can change, I'll put the current information down below in the description. The important takeaway, though, is this. When evaluating the total cost of owning X2O, don't look only at the purchase price of the machine. Factor in replacement filters as an ongoing maintenance expense. I think every buyer should know that up front. Number 13, what about maintenance, warranty, and support? Well, the machine has a touch screen that provides prompts and alerts, including notifications related to processing and maintenance. And the unit also has settings for functions such as flushing the filters, draining the system, and firmware updates. LifeWave advises that hard water may create sediment buildup and says cleaning may be needed every 3 to 6 months, depending on water quality. The company also advises using only approved water types and filters. If the system displays an error that can't be resolved through the user instructions, LifeWave directs customers to contact customer service. There are also warranty and return policy considerations, and because those policies can change, I strongly recommend reviewing the current official LifeWave terms before purchasing. This is one reason I believe having someone you can reach out to after purchase is so important. A nearly $6,000 purchase shouldn't end with someone sending you a link and then disappearing. Number 14. So, is the X2O water machine worth $5,995? This is probably why many of you clicked on this video. And here's my honest answer. I can't decide whether it's worth that much for you. I can only tell you whether I'm personally happy to own mine. And I am. For me, this machine is part of a much bigger interest I have in wellness, hydration, longevity, energy, and optimizing how I feel as I get older. I enjoy using it. I enjoy how I personally feel, and I am genuinely fascinated by this technology. But I also think a good X2O buyer should be someone who has researched the technology and understands exactly what they're purchasing. If you're looking only for an inexpensive way to filter water, this probably isn't the machine you're looking for. If you're expecting a machine to diagnose or cure a medical condition, that's also not what X2O is intended to do. If you're spending nearly $6,000 would create genuine financial hardship for you, I would think very carefully before making this purchase. But if you're specifically interested in LifeWave's light-infusion technology, hydrogen enrichment, cellular hydration, and incorporating this type of technology into your wellness lifestyle, then I think X2O is absolutely worth investigating further. Number 15, who you purchase from matters. This last point may be the most important thing I tell you in this entire video. If you already have a LifeWave brand partner, please work with that person. I genuinely mean that. But there are also many people discovering X2O through YouTube, Google, social media, or simply because someone mentioned this unusual light-infused water machine. And they don't have anyone helping them. If that's you, I would be honored to help. I've been with LifeWave for approximately 15 years. I've made well over 100 videos about X2O. I own and personally use this machine, and I've put systems in place to help support the people who purchase X2O through me. You are welcome to email me directly. You can ask me questions. I'm happy to speak with you personally over the phone or over Zoom. If you decide that X2O is right for you, I'm happy to walk you through the ordering process. And then after your machine arrives, I'm still here. To me, that's what sponsorship should mean. So if you don't currently have a LifeWave sponsor and you'd like my help, you'll find my email address and my X2O ordering information directly below this video in the description. And I truly mean this. Please feel free to reach out. I have time for everyone. And if you're still researching X2O, take a look at the X2O playlist that I'll put on the screen right now. I've created videos answering many of the individual questions that people ask about this machine, so you can continue learning before you make your decision. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And if this video helped you better understand the LifeWave X2O water machine, please give it a thumbs up. That tells YouTube that this information may help someone else who's considering the purchase. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to continue learning with me. And remember, whether you decide X2O is right for you or not, make an informed decision. Ask questions, do your research, and choose what's right for you. Hey, I'll see you in the next video.